The thing about movies is they trick you into believing that everything's happening in real time, that the shots are taken in a linear order. Then at some point you begin to realize the shots aren't all taken at the same time. But it's not till you get on a movie set that it really sinks in just how disjointed and non-linear, if you will, this process is too. So you as the director are going to have to start thinking of every shot in your movie as a separate entity. They're all pieces in a puzzle that are all scattered about while you're shooting. But during the editing, hopefully they'll all fit together in a tight, clear, cohesive picture.
I didn't run away from everything like you did. Oh, look at you now, you're running again.
Leaving every time you come back here to me. And you'll always be here in Devon's mind, and Devon will always be blaming
is my
that
sister.
you're gone. Stay.
No, I'm not staying.
You broke your father's heart when you left us.
If you're going to be doing most of this movie by yourself, you're going to have to act as writer, director, cameraman, production coordinator, location manager, and then you're going to want to shoot everything in your movie that takes place there when you go out to that location, and you may not be able to shoot it in the order that it is in the script. Your final scene may come midday, and you may need to shoot that first, and then the first scene may come at sunset. You may have to say that till last. So you'll have to make your actors aware of where their characters are in the story, their character arc, as they say, and you'll have to be conscious of wardrobe. Talk to them about what they're going to be wearing in each scene. Before you go to that location, you're going to want to get organized and think about how you're going to run things, the order of the shots, and all the different coverage you want to get of that scene to make it easy for you to edit. But think about the shots. Now let's try to categorize those. First, we have a master shot, and that's a big wide shot that will establish where the actors are in the location, and it'll also establish where they are in relationship to each other. You don't want to stay with the master shot too long, probably. You're going to be watching this on TV, and it's going to be much more effective if you can get into close-ups. That's where the audience can get involved with the actors in the story more, is with the close-ups. So maybe you'll just get the first couple lines of your scene in master shot, and maybe there's a place at the end of the scene you think you'd like to come back out to a master shot. Just shoot those separately, and then get right into the medium shots, the two shots, over the shoulders, close-ups.
Why don't you take her with you? Yeah. 3 or 4.
When you get into close-ups, make the actors aware of what they're doing with their head. You don't want too much movement in there. It's much more effective if they're still and they're acting with their eyes. And you want to make sure they keep those eyes open and they're not blinking a lot. A lot of times people aren't aware of blinking, but that can get in the way. There should be a reason that someone is blinking in a scene. If the actor is shy or if they're in a situation where they want to withdraw, then the blinking will mean something. Otherwise, have them keep the eyes nice and wide.
You've kept in touch with your father?
Worried about your subject matter so much, but
when you have a couple actors in a scene and you move into close-ups, you don't always have to center them in the shot. You can set them off to one side, which can sometimes make for a more interesting shot.
I know. Nothing ever happens in Twin Falls.
One thing you don't have to worry about in close-ups is continuity, because we can't see anybody else. But all those other angles, the wide shots, two shots over the shoulder, well, you have to be very conscious of it. If one of your actors is doing some business, they have a glass there and a cigarette, they'll have to be doing the same motion, the same action at the same time as you shoot this from all the different sides. So you might want to save yourself some trouble there, and if you're going to be shooting over the shoulder shots of this actor, have them do the business cigarette drink with their left hand, so then you won't have to deal with it. And you can also just move over and just get just a little bit of the side of the actor, maybe just a little bit of the head, and you don't have to get a lot in those over the shoulder shots.
When you're editing and you're having trouble making the shots match, well, you'll be glad you have some cutaways to bail you out. Something you can focus on for a second, away from the actors, that pertains to the scene, hopefully. Here the actress is sitting at a table with a cup of coffee, and I got a few cutaways of her hands fidgeting. I didn't use these, but it's better to have too many than not enough with the cutaways. So you really want to keep this in mind when you're shooting.
No, I'm not.